Pag ganun po, so sakaling hindi bumalik sa December 17 as he had stated, ano na po yan, that goes into the limitations of his visa. So depende na po yan kung hanggang saan yung term of his stay in the United States as prescribed or stated in the visa. And then because he is in the United States, ang Estados Unidos po ang may hawak or authority over his stay there. And today, kinukumpirma po ng Department of Justice ang pag-alis po ni former Secretary of the DPWH, Bonoan, for the United States. No, this is following the report by the Bureau of Immigration that former Secretary Manuel Bonoan left for the United States, presumably for the to attend to the medical needs of his wife in America, pursuant to a surgery. So we have been advised and it was reported that the procedure or the medical needs will be lasting until December 17, at which time he will be returning to the Philippines. So we confirm the departure. Former Secretary Bonoan did advise the DOJ, but that the DOJ, considering na wala pong legal impediment to his departure, could not prevent him from leaving. It was upon conferring po by the Bureau of Immigration to the Department of Justice, we looked into it, and given that wala pong pending case, wala pong pending hold departure order arising from any pending case, hindi po namin mapipigilan ang pag-alis. Not just po of former Secretary Bonoan or Mr. Bonoan, but for any individual for that matter po, no. There is a constitutional right to travel, which is inherent in everyone surrounding the Philippines in accordance with the Bill of Rights under the Constitution. Pag ganun po, so sakaling hindi bumalik sa December 17 as he had stated, ano na po yan, that goes into the limitations of his visa. So depende na po yan kung hanggang saan yung term of his stay in the United States as prescribed or stated in the visa. And then because he is in the United States, ang Estados Unidos po ang may hawak or authority over his stay there. Okay, so again, as we mentioned earlier, wala pong pending case here. And this applies generally to all individuals that with no pending case, we cannot prevent the departure of anyone for that matter to any place that he would wish to go to pursuant to his right to travel under Section 6, Article 21 of the Bill of Rights. This means that there is real-time monitoring and reporting of all his movement. So bantay sarado po na kagawaran ng katarungan at ng gobyerno ang bawat galaw ni Mr. Bonoan. Okay, so kunwari galing po Estados Unidos, lumipat siya ng ibang bansa, or may movement siya within the United States, necessarily tatatakan po yung passport niya. Diba? Ang pasaporte niya magkakamarka. At dahil po doon, may real-time monitoring through the Bureau of Immigration to the DOJ. Okay, so again po, this goes into the restrictions to his right to travel. And currently, wala po. Again, this does not apply only to him, but to all individuals who have not been implicated, let me correct myself, who have not been charged properly in court. Kasi ang huwes lang po at ang hukuman ang may kapangyarihan na mag-issue ng hold departure order. Okay? Even if he had wanted to, the DOJ level, the executive department, especially the DOJ, does not have the power to issue hold departure orders. That was decided by the Supreme Court in the case in 2018. Wala po, kasi ang lawyer po syempre is only acting in representation of his client. So ang pananagutan lang po ng lawyer, if any, is if kunwari he issued a statement under oath, tapos yung pala ay contrary to what had happened. Every movement of any citizen who is under the elbow will be monitored and reported to the proper authorities. So ang difference po niyan is kapag ordinary citizen, although recorded din po ang travel ninyo, walang reporting yan, walang real-time monitoring, walang real-time reporting. Being under the ILB or elbow ensures that bawat galaw ninyo ay tracked, bawat galaw ninyo ay monitored, reported, and then we could verify if there is a pending case in court, if there is a pending hold departure order issued by that court where your case is currently sitting. This is why we're ensuring that preliminary investigation for at least the five flood control cases under our jurisdiction, under the Department of Justice's jurisdiction, is being pursued with immediacy and with expediency. Dahil po the sooner we are able to file it in court, then the sooner we can then request or move for the issuance of whole departure orders for these individuals. Pero tandaan po natin kasi lahat ito may proseso eh. Diba? And as much as we had wanted any person to not leave the country, meron po constitutional guarantee. Nasasaan po yan sa ligang batas. Unless po they do decide to leave the country, this is with respect only to any would-be departure, no? So when they do decide to leave the country, dumaan silang immigration, nasa ILBO po sila or the Immigration Lookout Bulletin Board, then it will be reported, again, in real time to the authorities, to the BI, and then of course to the DOJ. So dun lang po natin makikita. Ang tanong niyo po ma'am is, kung may tracking to all the respondents, of course, there would be no overarching surveillance for these individuals. Just that their movement is carefully watched over. Binabantayan po ang movement nila by the pertinent authority, and this is the Bureau of Immigration. No, of course, kung ganun po, direct the question to Ombudsman Remulla. That is under the Ombudsman's jurisdiction and competence to answer. So that'll be all for now.
Sir, may total na tayo yung sa input.
Opo, total number of parang people listed under. We'll have to confer with the Bureau of Immigration for that. But even then, I think na that will be kept confidential by the Bureau of Immigration to protect not only the individuals here, no, but generally to protect the individuals who are listed under their. Kasi syempre, unless it calls for talagang action, then the mere fact alone that nasa listahan na sila, pag gumalaw po yan, makikita po namin agad. Marireport po agad sa amin, at kung meron nga silang pending case, magagawan po agad ng paraan na hindi sila makaalis ng bansa. So yun na po yung protective measure without impeding or infringing on any rights. Okay, I think that's a sufficient measure and authority by the government. Hindi po kailangan magpaalam sa amin dahil constitutional right po nila to travel. Ang nagiging paalam na lang is kapag dating nila sa airport or sa immigration section of the airport before they do depart, kapag nakalista sila, i-report sila sa amin. So kumbaga yun na po yung paalam. Yun yung kahaganan ng paalam na gagawin ng authorities and nila. But is it, if you were to ask me, if the question is that kailangan ba nila magsabi muna sa amin bago sila kunwari bumili ng ticket, bago sila pumunta ng airport, hindi na po. Kasi again, everyone has that inherent right and constitutional right to travel. That's Section 6, Article 21, 1987 Constitution. Yes sir, correct. So when I say real time, agad-agad, that's immediate. So habang nakatayo po siya doon sa immigration, they check his or her name, ba? And then they see that his or her name is listed there under, right away i-report po yan sa amin. At that point, ito check kung may HDO, may pending case, parang, could we really let this person leave the country given all these matters pending here? Then if the answer is yes, then they could go. That's real time, agad-agad po yan. Now when I say also real time monitoring, every movement that he does make within and across different jurisdictions will be covered by the DOJ, will be monitored, we will have oversight over these.
Pero kahit ilbo lang sir, parang sasabihin, parang kailangan may permission pa rin ng DOJ if he can move or hindi pwede?
May ano po yan, okay, so if you're the elbow, like I said sir, you will look into whether or not may existing case. Okay, so that's the biggest permission is before they can leave, i-check namin. And then if wala, if meron, they can go. If wala, they can go. If meron, then we'll have to hold. We'll have to see. Diba kung ano ba, what cases are currently pending. Kasi again, an HDO is only issued by the courts. Diba? HDO is only issued by the courts. So on the strength of the court's authority, by virtue of that whole departure order, they could not leave. But unless one is existing, then we cannot restrain anyone from leaving in accordance with their constitutional right. Kung sino po mga respondente sa mga kaso, yun lang po naman ngayon. Okay, so with respect to the Ombudsman, I cannot say because they have, if I remember correctly, 13 at the minimum cases pending before them regarding flood control anomalies. And so, with those, doon po sa kanila siguro nadagdagan, we're not sure. I am not, perhaps that question to be directed to the Ombudsman.